Welcome to the Oakley Podcast, Trucking, Business, and Family. This show is brought to you by Oakley Trucking, headquartered in North Little Rock, Arkansas. The purpose of this podcast is to communicate with Oakley owner-operators and their families by giving them up-to-date information concerning Oakley Trucking and the trucking industry, from business advice to safety updates to success stories. Also to give an insight to outside truck drivers that might be interested in joining the Oakley family. Hi, this is Jeremy Kellett, Director of Recruiting here at Oakley Trucking, and I'm your host for this podcast. This is episode 14. I'll tell you, we got a special episode today. It's something we haven't done yet that I've been looking forward to, but we're going to have an episode profiling an individual and getting a little detail on a specific individual that works here at Oakley that I think everybody is going to be interested in knowing a little bit more about him. But first, before we get into that, and I tell you who it is, I want to say thanks to all our owner-operators and their families and everybody listening to this and all the feedback you've been giving us. It seems like every day now I'm getting more and more feedback of that people are listening to this and are understanding that this is a way we're gonna communicate with our owner-operators and their families, and we just think it's a good way to do it. So please, spread the word, share it with all the other owner-operators, make sure they're listening to it. And if you guys got questions, just give me a call and we'll sure go over it, see what maybe needs we can meet with you. If you need more information, we did one from the shop a couple of weeks ago, and I thought that was great information for our owner-operators, and got one with dispatch and just different things that we think will help you be more successful and know what's going on at Oakley Trucking. So any suggestions, let us know, and appreciate y'all listening. I got a quick story to tell here. I started Oakley Trucking back in 1995 as a dispatcher, and I came in here, and of course they threw me in the fire into dispatch, and Mac Holloman was training me, and Manley Denton, and Don Griffin, and he was here too, and he was training me on dispatching. And so I was meeting these owner operators as they would come in. I would learn who they were and meet them. I tell you what I really remember was I remember learning their CB handles, because Don Griffin, he would call them by their CB handles. He said, and so I got with Don, and I said, now Don, who's this guy named Slow Motion? Does he get around? I mean, what's up with this CB handle, Slow Motion? And old Don said, don't you worry about that CB handle. That boy can make it happen. He can work now. So I figured out Slow Motion is Randolph, Rochell. And Randolph I've got sitting with me today that we're going to visit a little bit on his story. How you doing, Randolph?
Hey, Jeremy, how you doing? I'm doing great.
I'm doing good.
Great.
Man. I thought I'd throw that in there on you a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's Slow Motion. That's my CB handle. I got that from driving school. That was awesome. The guys down there gave me the Slow Motion handle, so I just took it and kept it. Been riding with it for a long time.
Yeah, I know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Slow motion.
Slow motion.
Kind of make people feel like I ain't very fast, but I'm a pretty quick guy.
That's what Don
said.
said. Yeah, Don and Mac said, don't let that name fool you. CB handle fool you, because Randolph can get the job done.
I tried to,
I remember back in the day when I would have to dispatch you some.
Oh, yeah.
When I guess Mac dispatched you, but then Don was your main dispatcher.
Right.
But, I would sub, Don go on vacation, and I'd sub for him, and I'd have to dispatch Slow Motion Randolph Rochelle, buddy. He was one you could count on to get it done. That was back in the day. Good stuff.
Yeah. The good old days back then now, I'm telling you.
Hey, Randolph, let's get, we got a few things we're going to talk about, and I would kind of like to get a little history on you first, to give our listeners a little bit of idea, maybe where you came from, where you grew up, how big your family was, maybe mom and dad, something like that. You give us a little history there?
Yeah, sure. I grew up in a little town of Star City, Arkansas, out in the country. Grew up with a family of 10, matter of fact, 6 boys, 4 girls. We lived out in the country. We was I don't know. Daddy was a sharecropper. He did a little carpenter. My mom had to stay as a stay-at-home mom. But, you know, I come from Star City. I had to work. I started off working at 6 years of age. Daddy put it on us. He put it on us, Jeremy. We had to learn to work at 6 because we had to get out in the fields, chop the cotton, harvest the cotton, you know, do all that kind of stuff that 6-year-olds don't even think about doing now. But it was I enjoyed it.
Made Mom, you grow up, didn't it?
Oh yeah, Mom. You know, she was at home. Mom, she had to cook. You know, I tell you, we ate a bunch of cornbread and beans back in those days. So that's really where I come from. Baptist, growed up in the church, got established, you know, as a Baptist. Daddy believed in taking us to church.
Did he?
Oh yeah, if you lived in that house, you had to go to church every Sunday.
Man, can you imagine getting 10 kids ready for church?
Well, yeah, you know, we didn't have 10 at home all at the same time, but we averaged about 6 in the household.
Pretty good, I guess, gap in age from the oldest to the youngest. Where do you fall in that?
I'm the 4th of the 10 kids.
Okay.
I'm the 4th of the 10. We all from the same mom and dad.
Awesome. Now your mom still alive?
Mom's still living. She's still living in Star City. Man, great mom, great family. You know, I wouldn't take that above anything.
Mom and dad teach you a lot, didn't they?
Yeah, I appreciated what they done for us. Great mom and dad. Everything dad did is really benefiting me now, and I love it. I can get emotional talking about where I come from.
That's all right.
You know, it was
what means a lot to you.
Yeah. I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. So I appreciate my dad and my mom. And now, you know, I have my own family. Wife, beautiful wife.
Miss Vicky.
Yeah, Miss Vicky. 3 kids, 3 grandkids. That's my pride and joy, those grandkids, you know. So
they say those grandkids are better than the kids. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. You know, people, you hear the same old thing, you know. One thing about the grandkids, you can keep them all day and sit them home. But my grandkids, I like to keep them all day and keep them all night. For 2 nights. Then I want to sit them home, you know. It's great. That
is good. So you were, so you grew up Star City. You've been driving since, when did you start driving a truck, Randolph?
I started driving a truck in 86. I was a company driver for J.B. Hunt. That's kind of how my trucking career got started back 86, driving for J.B. Hunt as company driver. Drove 6 years, established some money, decided I wanted to buy my own truck. Went and bought me a big old Freightliner.
What was your first truck?
Freightliner. It was an 86 model Freightliner.
All right.
400 Cummins.
There you go.
Oh, man. It was.
What color was it?
It was red. Red. Bought that truck and came over here and talked to old Mac Holloman. Asked him, did he have anything for me? He said, yeah, we can put you to work when you want to start. So
and that was pulling a dump trailer.
Pulling a dump trailer. So that's pretty much the way I got started in the trucking, and that's a little background on me, you know.
Well, so let's just keep going there. So you started driving, pulling a dump in 92, is that what you said?
92.
92 for
March
Oakley.
of 92.
Okay, March of 92 for Oakley. You drove a truck here for how long?
I drove a truck here at Oakley for 8 years.
Okay, then?
2000, man, I got a blessing. Dennis walked up to the scale house and asked me that I want to run a port for him. Dennis Oakley. Man, I couldn't wait to get off that scale quick enough. Hey, it was great. He asked me that I want to run the port for him, you know. I said, sure, you know.
Because it was down there where you lived.
Yeah.
You still lived in Star City.
I had moved to Star City.
Okay.
You know. And really, I had already asked Dennis, me and him kind of joke. I told him, I said, Dennis, you know, the next time you buy a port, I want to run it. Believe it or not. And believe it or not, about 3 months later, I pulled on that scale and he was standing there. And he said, hey, Randolph, guess what? I got a port. You want to run it?
And that port was where at?
It's down in McGee, around McGee, Dermot area. They call it the Desha Chico County Metropolitan Port.
Okay.
I ran that port, you know, went down there and got established down there. And I stayed down there for about 6 years.
6 years. So that brings us up to 2006?
Yeah, 2006.
Somewhere right in there.
2006, Denny tried to, he wanted to invest in the port and kind of make it his own. They would never sell it to him. So he moved me out and brought me back up here.
Yeah.
Back up here. And guess what happened then?
Guess where you came then?
I started in recruiting,
That's been a blessing since you come up.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
We really enjoy having you in recruiting, Randolph.
Thank you. Yeah. I enjoy recruiting. I really enjoy recruiting. But guess what? I did recruiting pretty much full time for 10 years?
Yeah.
And then, you asked me to do the orientation. So that's what led me into orientation.
Yeah, we were doing it. Everybody was doing it. We kind of swapping around there for a while when you came up here, and you did a lot of recruiting, answering the phone, and actually leasing independent contractors on. And then finally, we realized. I think we both realized that's where you belong. Is orientation every week, and because you're so good at dealing with people coming in,
right?
And you just got this calming effect over everybody that you that people look up to you, and that's
thank you.
That's been I brag on you all the time in orientation because that's been such a load off of my mind because I know it's done right and everybody takes, you take so good care of people and everybody brags on you all the time doing orientation. So you're full-time orientation now.
Yeah, I enjoy that. Yeah. Really, I do.
I enjoy you doing it.
Orientation is great. I mean, I just, like you said, I just really enjoy meeting new guys every week.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the pet peeve. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Getting
the chance to meet new guys and letting them express themselves.
That's one of my favorite parts of orientation is, and we'll get back on you here in a minute. We won't talk much about orientation, but one of my favorite parts of orientation is when they all get here on Monday morning and you make them, or I make them, but you ask them to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit something about themselves. Isn't that the best part?
Yeah, I love that. You'd be surprised some of the things that these guys doing, what they've been doing before they even get here, or what they like to do.
Yeah.
And
it is. It opens your eyes up to see. I mean, these are people. They're individuals. They got lives at home. They're not just driving a truck for Oakley.
Yeah.
We get to see who they are.
Really, and I love it.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you about, and this will take you back a while, and I want all our listeners to know out there that back in 1999, Randolph Rochell was the truck driving champion for the Arkansas Trucking Association here in Little Rock.
In the tank division.
In the tank division. So they had different divisions.
Right.
Yeah. And you didn't even pull a tank, you pulled a dump.
I was pulling a dump. And
you went over there and got first place. How's that happen?
Yeah. Ron Davis asked me to compete in the tank division, and I was stunned. I said, Ron, I'm a end dump guy. He said, you'll be all right. Yeah. I know a lot of these guys that work here still remember Ron Davis, and I just like to speak on him. He was a great guy, Jeremy. Yeah. Great safety director, and I enjoyed him. And he gave me an opportunity to compete in this truck driver championship. And I was a rookie, nervous, but man.
You nailed it.
Oh, yeah. I had pressure on me. My boys were putting pressure on me over there. They wanted me to do good, and I had to do good for them,
You did. That championship right there, when you won that here in the state of Arkansas, that qualified you to go to nationals.
Right.
And where'd you go? Where'd you do that at?
It was in Tampa, Florida.
Oh, okay. So
I was in the region. I mean, I did the regional here, and I went to the national in Tampa, competed up there. Didn't win first or second, and then plays, but I think I did pretty good.
Did a good showing. Did a good showing down there.
I think I'm 15 out of 48 drivers. So. And
that's pretty good.
Yeah, in the nationals.
Represent Oakley well back in 1999, didn't
it? I was excited. It was great.
Was that when we did that profile in that magazine on you?
Yeah.
Sometime right in there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember we did that in Overdrive magazine. They did article on you and interview you and came out here and took pictures and all that. Big celebrity.
Yeah. After the truck show, the lady from down there in the Overdrive,
Yeah.
I think she got to know me. Ron kind of built me up, and she got to know a little bit more about me. And she asked me, did I want to be in the Overdrive magazine? They had elected me to represent a certain month.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and man, that was awesome too. Just the kind of profile of telling me about my family, where I come from.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the same as we're talking about today.
See, our listeners just didn't know how big a celebrity you are, Randolph. Now they're learning. Everybody's learning now.
Yeah, that's all right.
I appreciate you coming in here and visiting with me. This is good stuff.
Yeah. Let me tell them about that truck, that Overdrive. They also talked about, where I come from. And, I come from where you had to work and you had to drive and you had to do things that helped you in life, and I really appreciate her giving me an opportunity to share, because I was off into church even at that time. I'm always have been a family man. I love my family, and that's what it really was about, all about your family.
Yeah.
And being a owner operator, a truck driver, you still can be a big part in your family, play a big part in your family, because it takes an awesome wife to be a wife of a truck driver.
Doesn't it though?
She had to really sacrifice a lot in order for us to be owner operators and drive trucks. And we have to really appreciate them. So I just want to share that with the
good stuff right there.
We're
visiting with Randolph Rochell. Works here at Oakley Trucking, getting a history on Randolph. That's what this whole episode's about, is getting to know Randolph a little bit better. So did you tell them that I haven't told them, they've probably all seen it, the YouTube video you got out there, Riding with Randolph.
Yeah.
That's a few years old, but that's a good little video to watch.
Yeah.
We need to do more of those.
Yeah, really.
We really do.
I got some good views on it. I got some good feedback on that. So yeah, that YouTube is still out there if y'all want to click on it and learn a little bit more about Randolph.
How did you give it? We may not want to say this. I don't know.
Go ahead.
How did you run when you ran? You was driving a truck. I know you still get excited when you talk about driving a truck, because you tell these guys in orientation how you used to work and run and things like that. I mean, that's back in the 90s when things were wide open back there. And I mean, I'm asking the question, but I know because I dispatched you some that it was a little different back then, wasn't it, Randolph?
Yeah, definitely. Jeremy, I came over here to run local, semi-local, 5 states. That was Mac was telling me when I first came over here. So I came over here thinking I'm going to run just 5 states, but back then it's turned into be 48 states, So even back then I had to run, over the road. It was an over road deal for me. But believe it or not, Oakley still was getting me home what I really wanted. And my main thing was to get home on the weekend. A lot speak on getting home on the weekend so you can go to church. Yeah, and that was
because JB Hunt probably kept you out. You stayed out longer.
Yeah, I stayed out a lot longer. And buying a truck, having my own truck, when you buy your truck, you think you can still kind of do what you want to do. But you still, and you speak this all the time, you still under somebody authorization.
Yeah.
You're still under somebody.
Still working for somebody.
Still working for somebody. So I learned that real quick. Because I'm thinking 5 states, and then they ended up turning to be 48 states. And my daddy always told me to be obedient, son. So whatever somebody tell me, I was trying to hold it up, do the right thing. I couldn't go in and argue with Matt Holloman saying, you told me I couldn't run up 5 states. No, I probably wouldn't have a job very long.
That wouldn't get you very far.
So I kept on, and I just ran what he wanted me to run. And back then, you really had to run because we didn't have this e-logs and things like that where you only run, you had to keep it, I don't know what you would call it. Back then you can run like you want to run, but now you have to run according to regulations. That's good.
It changed the game when that happened.
Definitely. But yeah, that's pretty much the way I ran. I ran 48 states back then. Eventually, after a while, after I got on Dunn board, Dunn brought me down to where I was running local. I did a lot of scrap barges.
Yeah, I can remember you doing scrap barges and running that stuff to Louisiana and back.
Right.
I forget what that was, but I remember you doing that all the time.
Yeah, I started running scrap barge, and then they even put me on this run from
Bastrop.
back down to Bastrop.
Yeah, that's
one day, and the next day you go to Spring Hill back, then Bastrop back.
Yeah, yeah.
That worked out real good because I was living down the Star City at that time.
So you swing through the house.
Yeah, I go by the house every day. It was
Life
great.
was good, wasn't it?
Life was good, and life's still good,
Isn't it?
Believe it or not. You know.
Well, that's because you got a good foundation. I think it makes a difference that you get, good raising and good parents and good church background,
good wife,
and good family, strong family, and it makes a difference in a man's life.
Yeah,
be able to do that.
Really do.
Yeah, it's a big part of your church.
Yeah, I've been a deacon in the church for 14 years. Right now we are married counselors. Me and my wife, we lead this married council in about a 500 membership church. I enjoy doing that.
We get some pretty good Bible discussions going once in a while. I know. It's fun to do.
I love to talk on the Bible. I love me, Randy Robin, who work here. Lots of time we find ourselves sitting somewhere. That's pretty much what we're talking about.
Yeah,
the Word. You can't get enough of the Word these days.
Sir.
It's going to help you in your everyday life.
Peace. Yeah, Peace. Really is good. A couple other things I wanted to talk about is one. I think it's always interesting to know what people do in their off time when they're home. We ask all these owner operators before they come and when they get here, what do you guys do as a hobby on the weekends or when you get home? So I'm asking you, what do you do?
I love sports, number one. I used to just sit around the television and watch sports pretty much all weekend, believe it or not. But now what I really enjoy is working in my yard. I have about an acre yard, and I just love to work in that yard, keeping it, I don't know, I would call it, I just keep it up, I like for it to look nice.
You're in a neighborhood over there. You gotta.
I'm gonna live in a neighborhood where, if you don't keep your yard nice, they pretty much gonna boot you out of there. No, because it's nice, and I want it nice.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I do. When I leave here, I go home, spend a lot of time with the grandkids, and a lot of time in my yard. And that's pretty much,
Well, now, wait a minute. I know me and you've had a lot of discussions about mowing yards. Now, I've got one on the side. I just can't get on. I keep mowing a yard, my neighbors or one or two of them. You got a couple yards you mow. Are you doing any more of that this year?
Oh yeah. I mow a church yard, really. It's not my church, but I mow another church yard. I mowed a couple yards to keep me busy doing that too. Cause
there you go.
Like I said, I just love working in those yards. Now yards is my thing. I
know one thing, you got to be careful or you'll get more yards than you can do.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people out there who want their yard mowed.
Some days you go home, you're hoping you don't get a call talking about mowing a yard because some days you just want to go home and relax.
Yeah.
And that's at my age now. I just sometimes want to go home and sit on the front porch or sit on the back porch or on the deck and
relax.
So
how old are you now, Randolph?
Hey, I'm 61.
61.
61 years old.
Everybody, he keeps throwing this retirement word up to me. He keeps thinking how many years, and it changes from, I'm good, another 10 years, and I don't know, about maybe 6, 7 years. And then the other day he said 3 or 4. And I'm like, now, wait a minute. So he got it on his mind, don't you?
Oh, yeah. This pandemic don't kind of put me in a retirement mode, being at home a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure it has a lot of people.
Oh, man.
But that's good to look forward to.
Yeah, yeah. We want to retire and enjoy the retirement life a little bit before I get too old. It just all depends on my health. I'm still real healthy. I'm still getting around good. Thank God for that. And, who knows? I might work until I'm 70. I might just work until as long as you and Mr. Benny allow me to. And then as y'all, this has been a great place to work, and I enjoy working here. So I talk about it, but I love the people that I work for here at Oakley Trucking. So who knows? It could be another 10 years.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Randolph, man, I appreciate you hanging out with me and doing this. I know we've talked about doing this little podcast for a while, and I think it's interesting to learn more about each other and our people here and understand the relationship we have here at Oakley, and
Right.
and how you're such a blessing to this company, and especially to me. You've helped me a whole lot over the years.
Thank you.
I sure appreciate it, brother. So.
Thank you.
All right. Well, man, hey, thanks for listening, everybody. Enjoyed the time here with Randolph, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Oakley Podcast, Trucking, Business, and Family. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate or review the show in the podcast platform of your choice and share it with a friend. We love hearing from our audience, so if you've got a question, comment, or just want to say hello, head over to our website, theoakleypodcast.com, and click the Leave a Comment button. We'll get you a response soon and may even share some of the best ones here on the show. We'll be back with a fresh episode very soon. Thanks for listening.